All right, we are live. It is, I don't know, Wednesday. Yes, Wednesday, June 25th. This is a live stream. It's a topic based live stream. I'm going to talk about three topics generally. And we talk about all things, but I try to stay focused with some topics and I try to talk about them more towards the beginning of the live stream. So the topics today is a 50-mile review of the Puma Fast Star Nitro Elite version 3. And then the 2/3 workout. It's a new workout that I'm doing and testing out. It's a race simulator kind of workout. And then also running in the heat. But before we get there, just want to say hi to everybody who is slacking off at work and coming to join us in the live chat. I appreciate your lack of work ethic. I'm just kidding. I know you're probably on lunch or something, or maybe you don't even work today. Like me, I'm not at work, so I'm doing a live stream because here I am. And then anyone who's listening to this later, that is why I made these things. It's like Kafuzi has a Kafuzi Run Club live stream. He used to do it 5 days a week, and I would take it on my run and I would listen to it on my easy days as I ran. I listened to it later, but not live. Then he went down to 2 days. And then, no, I don't record these and then listen to myself later, but not live to fill the void. But I do want to create the space for that so anyone listening can take it later, but not live. Guys, when I speak, I have a tendency to blow people away. And I wanted to make sure that I wasn't blowing out the speaker. So I did listen to it later, but not live last week or 3 weeks ago, whenever we did a live stream last time. And I made the mistake. That one hurt, by the way, guys. I listened to it while I was laying down, checking for the sound to make sure that the speaker's not blown out. And I accidentally fell asleep because I was laying down when I listened to it. And I don't know how I feel about that, but I'm going to tell you, not incredible. This channel exists for entertainment value. I am not an authority on it. When I talk about the 50-mile review of the Fast Star version 3, the Nitro Elite from Puma, I'm sharing my experience in the shoe. I'm not telling you that this will be your experience in the shoe. I have no idea. People strangers on the internet sometimes take it personal, and I just got to throw some disclaimers out there. I'm just sharing my experience in the shoe. So it does feel incredible, and I was blown away. Now, if you are in here and you're joining in the chat, it's always welcome for you to put your Wednesday run in the bottom, right? And anybody who actually ran a race last weekend, if you had a race, I have a tiny bell and it made its way from one room to another room, and not this room. I will find it. I will ring a bell for you. But the Midwest is on fire right now. From my understanding, it's an inferno because the people I coach, I'm seeing their temps is hotter than San Antonio. And I'm like, yeesh. Grandma's not great weather from my understanding for that too. So that's the third topic. We're going to talk about running in the heat and specifically racing in the heat because I live in San Antonio, do it every summer. Anyway, you could put shoe comments, shoe talk in the comments. You could put what you ran. No one cares. Your wife doesn't care about your 6 easy miles, but I do. So you put it down there and we're going to give some snaps. Okay. We're going to give you some snaps for it. Okay. Alex Dominguez is in here. And I got, we're promised we're going to talk about the Fast Star version 3. I'm holding it in my hand because one time I did a review on a shoe that I gave away because I was not fond of it. And I did a review on it and I feel like it was fair. And someone put, never trust a guy without a shoe in his hand. So I was like, ooh, trust issues, strangers on the internet. I'm not making it up, but now I've learned my lesson. I hold the shoe, and then that way I actually ran in it, and I'm not lying to you for clickbait because I get 58 cents from these live streams. And anyway, Alex Dominguez says major lack of work ethic here, but also taking care of my sick toddler. You see, Alex, that's the real work. Good man. That is the real work. Sun up to sundown, 12-hour shifts. That's how toddlers roll. They don't know, no days off. That says tracksmith. That's what they meant. Philip Watts says, I started at work at 4 a.m. and finished at 10 a.m. I then ran a quick track workout, 6 by 400 meter intervals in 90-degree heat before 11 a.m. Well, Philip, um, that is a work ethic. You might catch me at 2 a.m., waking up before going to work to make sure I got those intervals in. I say that, but I really have been slacking. I've been running in the heat and having to change the workouts. And then I'm like, nah, I'll be fine every time. I'm like, I'll be fine. I'm used to it. I'll just run in there. Easy miles, I'm okay with it. But when we start getting into some sped, I think that's where I really, really kind of get into trouble. And, I tell everyone the summer is a lie. Okay. Paces are a lie. Don't believe it. It's all one lie. Don't even think about it. So Alex says, I have 800-meter intervals, 8 of them on deck today, given that the weather holds up. Jen Piazza's in here. What's up, Jen? She says, easy 45 minutes at 6:30 a.m. and it was painfully hot in NYC. Is it 65 degrees there? Is that way to go, Jen? We're giving you snaps. Is 65 the threshold for New York? I always just imagine it snowing up there, no matter what time of year it is. Just like people probably think Texas is like cactus and horses, even though they're cities, but maybe not. But so anyway, all right, Puma Fast R3. We're 7 minutes in. Now I'm not gonna make chapters out of this, so you're just gonna have to suffer through me talking for 7 minutes. We're trying to skip ahead until we get to the Fast R Elite version 3. Because in my head, that's why you're here. You're like here because you're like, talk about the shoe, talk about your experience in the shoe. That's all I care about. Nobody cares about you, Andrew. We only care about the shoe. So it is IMO. And yes, I know I sound like a middle schooler when I do that. I have 2 middle schoolers, so it's just, I don't say BRB IDK. I don't say those things usually, but in my opinion, it's the GOAT. It's the new GOAT, greatest of all time. Okay. It's taking the torch, the baton. Insert your favorite cliche. It is staging a coup. It has beheaded the Alpha Fly One. This got violent really quick, but yeah, it's definitely it's taken the crown. There's a good cliche. Okay, it now sits on top of the throne, and it's the greatest racer of all time. Then I'm going to get to why. Now, for the receipts, I'm going to show the receipts. In Boston, I ran a 256.37, which was a PR. You got to figure this out too, guys, because I was thinking about this, and I'm going to say the other times that I've ran in here, I've been doing these two-thirds workouts. Another thing we're going to talk about, the two-thirds workout. And I have a 2-mile PR in it today. So I did a 10K two-thirds workout, which is 4 miles at 10K pace, but accidentally ran the fastest I have across 5K, 18:08. I can't say 5K PR because it's not a chipped race. So do I say a P FKT? That is my personal fastest known time. My body has gone across space time from point A to point B faster than it ever has. So scientifically speaking, it's a personal best, but it's going to ruffle some feathers. We're just full of cliches today. Okay, if I say, oh yeah, I had a 5K PB or PR in this shoe because it's 18:08 last week with the 5K accidentally, I said, well, it wasn't a race. It wasn't a race. I don't care if it was hot and humid. It wasn't a race. We don't count it. So I don't want to get DQ'd. I don't know what do we say when we hit a fastest time in training. Matt Byer, you tell me, bro, because I know you're the king of that. Like you just hit these time trials, PRs. Matt Byer is in here, by the way. He says no meetings today, so we are live. Matt, I'm going to tell you right now, I did not run much in the Rival Fly 4 since I got it. So we're probably not going to have a quota for that today, other than this, me telling you that we probably won't be talking about the Rival Fly 4. Okay, back to the shoot before we forget. So here, Fast Star, Nitro the V3. So it's got all of these fastest times for me. And I have been able to nail what I think makes the shoe so special. So it has your typical race day upper, not typical, but a very nice one where you can see through it. I can see through it. It's transparent. It's very light. The shoe itself is very light. The shoe industry is trending that way. I know like last year, maybe it was wider platforms and max stack. And then from the race shoe side of things, everybody's like, can we make it lighter? And I don't know if that was the Evo Pro, whatever that started that trend. And then Asics, everyone's been on that one, heading that way. But the Metaspeed Edge Paris, the Sky Paris, by the way, Supwell app, Sky Paris in the mail, got it for 165. So now I'm going to run in it because I've never been convinced that the Edge Paris and Sky Paris were that much different. And I gotta know. I gotta run in both. I gotta know. This means I'm probably not going to run in the Tokyo series, but I'm okay with that. I am okay with that. Anyway, the propulsion of this shoe is legitimate. It is an aggressive shoe. It reminds me, it's like Vaporfly 2 aggressive. This plate, the bounce, it's pushy. The back, it has some bounce as well. So there's energy return and it's also responsive. It's both. Maybe both. Maybe both of them is happening at the same time. Legit. Okay. And the reason why that is special is because it's also lightweight. The lighter the shoe, the lesser the materials. You don't have as much inside of the shoe to push you forward because it's there. It could have a plate. It exists. I see it. The super foam is in there, right? But what makes the Metaspeed Edge Paris, which I have 215 miles in, special is that it is lightweight. I used it for speed workouts. I used it for races, and it's best when I'm Jesus lizarding across the lake. You know, I'm just like when my feet are barely tapping down, like the sound effects too. That's for my 6-year-old. He's really into that right now. He's like geometry dash, and then now he's like and all of the sounds. So anyway, that's how I run too. I make those sounds when I run just to feel faster. When I whoosh by people. Anyway, this shoe it's incredible. Now, it's so incredible that I put it on a pedestal. I put it in this place where I'm not going to run it. Every mile is precious. Every mile is precious. If I'm going to warm up, I'll take my Glycerin Max or the Neo Vista 2 and I'll warm up in those shoes. Then I'll switch to these shoes because Strava doesn't let you separate it. And by the way, Strava did something again with their shoe list, but they didn't alphabetize it. But now it's different places. It's my list changed, but it's not alphabetized. So I don't know if Rana re-alphabetized it and just missed the mark. I don't know what's going on, but I think we could use some authentic intelligence on the shoe list, please, for Strava, for the love of God. You know, I'm not going to stop paying for it, but if we could just, that would be great. I don't think me saying anything is going to make a difference, but I don't run in this shoe. This is reserved for race day only, and that's how I was with the Alpha Fly 1. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get 4 marathons out of this shoe. I'm only gonna do maybe my training run in it one time, but then I don't need to after that. I can just suit up. I can get dressed up on Halloween as a winner." That's when I put on the shoes, that's what I feel like. Oh, I'm getting dressed up for race day, for prom. I don't know, guys. Just talking. I didn't sleep a whole lot. My wife got back in from Japan yesterday. It's been a long 13 days, feels like. It's been 84 years. A long time. So anyway, that's how special the shoe is. And the reason I'm doing this 50-mile check-in is because I normally do a 100-mile review. I don't know when I'm going to get the shoe to 100 miles. If I do the half marathon, the Sugarland half in October, okay, there's 13 more miles, so I'll be at 65. If I do a marathon, the Houston Marathon, okay, there's 26. I'm still not there. So I just thought rather than wait a year when we're all on to the Sugar Ray or whatever the hell A6 is cooking, then by then it'll be like, oh yeah, that's you. Yeah, the 4's out. I can't keep up. I'm like, yeah, there's no shoes coming out. There's no shoes coming out. Okay, yeah, I know. Rebel V5's coming, Speed 5's coming. And then all of a sudden it's like Prime X 3 is available at Running Warehouse yesterday, and I saw it and there was still time to get it. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't pull the trigger. It was $300 and it's always been $300. But I got my V1s, which I ran in this last week, one time, 9 miles. It's at 887, inching up to 900. I bought it for 200. And at the time I didn't feel good about it. It's a lot for a shoe for me. I didn't back in the day. This was before the Sepwell app. So I was waiting for that Running Warehouse discount. I was looking around online for what I could, but I'm getting my $200 worth. But V2, not like V1. It's different. They're batting 500. So I didn't want to spend $300, period, ever. That's my max for cap for shoe. I paid $300 for this shoe, the Fast Star. I don't regret it. I got 0 regrets on that. Okay. But for the Prime X front, yeah. I'm gonna let other people run in it, and I'm gonna let them review it. And there's that. And then the Takumi Sen 11 came available on the Supple app also. And I was like, I just got the Audios 9. It's just talking myself down out of all of these shoes. Oh, I'm gonna be candid, guys. I'm gonna let you know. Part of being an experiential channel, I just share whatever the hell's going on, right? With my training, with the shoes, whatever, right? Very human experience. So I got the Peg Plus. I know I said the last 5 live streams, I'm like, that's where I draw the line. I don't need the Peg Plus. I have the Evo SL. I have the Zoom Fly 6. I have the Mach X2. I'm not getting it. I have the Rebel V4. I am not getting the Peg Plus. But then my man Andre was like, I'm knocking another $10 off. And I'm like, and the shipping? Okay. Twist my arm. I feel like I'm getting paid to run in the shoe now, So that's in the mail. That one in the sky. So we'll have to do a comparison video that nobody cares about because it's like the Tokyo's out. So we're all over it. So DDD's in here with his running update today. 10 miles easy in Sweden. Oh, snaps. Oh, the easiest 10 miles of the day. I love it. Sweden. Oh, man. Matt Beyer says, no run today. Plan to run easy tomorrow before a track workout Friday to close out the burst phase. I love it. I love it, Matt. Yeah, I've got been bursting too much, man. I'm really starting to feel it. I need to hit the gym and strength train. My 7th grader's into it. He's into it. He can bench 55 pounds. So I got a little setup in the garage. Sorry, if for my friends overseas, garage, in the garage. After I check my schedule, we my wife told me not to do the accents anymore, but I just gotta let it rip sometimes. Sorry, guys. Pardon. So we're in the gym and we're lifting, and he's like, "How do I do deadlifts?" And I was like, "Right in my wheelhouse, bro. I've been waiting 14 years for you to ask this school." What, 12? He's 12, but um, so then naturally the day after, I told him, I was like, "Hey man, we're just gonna do 3 sets that sit, and your lower back, it's gonna be tight. You feel it. It's the first time you've ever done deadlifts." Okay. So what we were working on, I think 55 pounds. And then we had the girl bar, and then the female bar, and then the tens. Anyway, I need to do that because my body has been taking a beating with all this bursting. I did 2/3 workouts. And we'll talk about that. That's the next topic. 2/3 workouts. Jen Piat, before that, I'm behind on the chat, so I'm going to talk. I say that ironically. I work around young people, so I'm like, "Hey, chat," whatever. And then, but I can always tell when someone doesn't know how to take me yet, and then they're like, should I tell him? No, I won't tell him. He's so old. I don't want to tell him like, yeah. So, all right. Jen says the real fuel temp is 105 right now. Okay. New York City is absolutely on fire. It's a lot higher than even San Antonio. I'm going to tell you right now. Right now, it's only 86 real fuel, or it feels like 88. So, thoughts and prayers with you, Jen. Shane Molaski is in here weighing in on the whole, is it a PR if it is in training? And he says, if it's on GPS, it counts. I've been saying that for years. Okay. Science. It's science, guys. Scientifically speaking, you are a body, a mass that went through space-time, measured, okay, like with satellites, GPS. I mean, I get it. I'm not going to say after the Austin International Half Marathon, for example, I ran a chip time of 1:20:35, but my GPS of 1:20:02. I'm not going to say I ran at 1:20:02 because I didn't, because I went from the start line to the finish line in 1:20:35. Facts. Okay, that's legit. Okay. But I know across time, there's that. I mean, just science, guys. It's just, I don't know, into that, if you're into that. Matt Beyer says, I consider time trials PRs as unofficial PRs since it wasn't in a race, especially if it's at a distance I don't race often, like the half marathon. This is what I was saying, right? My support for that argument was, did Kipchoge break 2 or not? Did he break 2? If he didn't break 2 because it wasn't a race, then, but they're like, no, of course he broke 2. He broke 2 hours in the marathon. I'm like, hey, well, then we're counting it. Matt says, I have other PRs in the 10K and the 5K that were from a race, although the 5K was an adult PR, not a lifetime PR. All right, man, I'm really behind, but I'm gonna just hop into this 2/3 deal. Okay, so the 2/3 workout is a race simulator workout, and the idea is you are going to mirror race day, and you would do this in place of the regurgitated 5x1K with 2-minute rest. Sometimes people do that like 5x K, but then the last 200 they kick, and then you take a longer rest. I think I saw like a marathon handbook podcast on it. And I know it's a popular one where people do a 10K, there'll be a 10x K with like 60 seconds rest. And if the pace you can hold for those, if you can hold it, that would indicate what you can run. But I like this one because you don't get breaks on race day. You just run the whole thing. But you don't want to race in training. So you get dressed up, you wake up, you eat your banana, your Pop-Tart, your bagel, boggle. You'll just consume the carbs, drink your coffee, whatever you do you. Okay. Then an hour later, you go, then you run, and you run 2/3. The last 1/3 of every race should feel extremely extremely difficult. Eject. Your brain is ejecting. I don't know if I could do this. You're holding on. You're hanging on. Right. So if you race 2 miles of a 3K, then okay, what it feels like to hold that pace and how much work is required to get you to the line of I want to stop. So I'm not really worried about myself or anybody else that I coach being like, I'm already here. Let me just go ahead and knock out this 3rd mile, because your body is like, we want to stop. Everything is saying stop. Okay, cool. But on race day, with all the environment, with the people running next to you, with the adrenaline, you go suffer the extra mile. If it's a 10K, you do 4 miles at 10K, right? Where you get to the line, and then you say, okay, cool. If it was race day, I could have kept going, but I'm not going to. And then you think, could I have held that? Yeah, I could have held that. It would have been really painful. Might have slid off a little bit, but I was kind of right there. So I did a 10K 2/3 workout last week at a 5:51 pace in the Fast R version 3. And it ended up being an 18:08 5K personal best, right? Unofficial personal best. I like that, man. I'm going to just do that unofficial. And this morning I did a 5K 2/3 test. In the heat, of course, it's going to affect the duration of how long you're running, but it was a 5:41 pace. So I think it was like 11:24. It was a 2-mile unofficial PR from that workout. I like it because it mirrors race day and gives you a real idea of what you're going to be looking at. Though you'll get more volume if you do the 5x1K because you're getting the extra mile or whatever. So if you feel like going the extra mile. Let's see here. Shane says the new Alpha Fly 4 Proto has a plate sticking out like the Fast Star. Nice. Puma must be onto something if Nike is copying. Yeah, I'm excited for the direction of all the super shoes. Just shoes in general. I could geek out. I wasn't really excited about the more supportive, wider trend. I watched my guy Sagasu. He liked the Rebel V5. He didn't run in the 3. I think that was a miss. I think my guy's got to go try the 3 because the 3 wasn't like the 4. The 4, I'm not. It's a little too soft, a little too baggy, too wide. It's good. It's more like the 3 than I thought it was going to be, but it's a different fuel cell formulation. I like the 3. 2, there wasn't as much foam underfoot. I never ran in the 1. I don't know if and when I'll run in the 5. There's that. But I saw Joanna ran in the Speed 5. I haven't really heard much on the way. Let me know if any of you guys have run in the Rebel V5 or the Speed V5. You give me a little intel on that. So the captain is in here. Chaz, what's up, dude? Now, he's a guy who runs in more shoes than me, and I run in a lot of shoes. Edge Paris and the Sky Paris. He says, I can really tell the difference. Just ran in the Sky Tokyo and the Sky Paris side by side today, along with the Fast R3. Well, that is a head-to-head that I'm going to have to watch. That's so cool. Yeah, I saw that I did by the way, guys, if you don't follow the Captain Chas, go check out his channel. I really like the 10K you ran with I don't know what, the Insta 360. Those are really cool. I know that There's a channel that does that. Take my crown over, like Nick Bester had done it, but I really like that. I enjoy going along the journey and watching people race. Let's see. Frank says, regarding the Fastar V3, I'll use it for Chicago, but I'm thinking I feel too embarrassed to use a $300 shoe for a local 5K next week. What a flex. Would be a flex. I don't know. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Hard to say. Panos is in here. He says, hey, midlifers, first day of sales in France today. Saucony Hurricane 24 and Nike Zoom Fly 6 for 203 euros. $235. Bought them at 5:30 in the morning. By 6:15, I was out for my long run. Oh, man, that's awesome. We love France and San Antonio. It's a French connection between Tony Parker and Victor Wembanyama. Yeah, Wemby's the best. We got the draft. Is that today? It is today. We got a draft today. My buyer says so much for the no buy time frame. Yeah, guys, I was on a no buy. I was trying to make it to August. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was my wife in Japan. I was like, what's she gonna do? You know, she'd have to wait. Some of them I sold some shoes on the Supple app. So that's how I rationalized buying some shoes. So there is that. But yeah, I cracked. I was like, I really want to know. I want to know, Chess, about if there's much of a difference between the Sky Tokyo and the Sky Paris, or like, what are the differences in the update for the shoe? You know, so. All right. Frank says the Kafuzi Run Club workout Wednesday today is 400s. Oh, wow. I didn't know that there was a KRC workout. I think when the Discord first opened up, I was in the Discord. And then that was before I had Discord. And then I ended up in like 3 servers for other random things. And I haven't hopped back. I need to hop back in there. That's good. I like 400s because they're over quicker. You know, so I think the amount of suffering is a little bit less. I've been watching who infiltrated my algorithm. Soda. You guys know Soda? It's like Minnesota, big. He's not from Minnesota. I think he lives in Japan. I think. Anyway, he's a coach. He's a runner, and he loves 30-second on, 30-second off. And I'm like, I don't know if I've ever done that hit style. I've done Yeesh. I've done 1 minute on, 1 minute off, but not that. So I'm thinking about injecting some 30-second in, 30-second off. But I did forget to mention on the Fastar V3, I think one of the things I always thought about the Alpha Fly version 1, which I thought was the GOAT before, was late in a race. I wish I had something a little bit more nimble and lightweight underfoot. And originally I made this video called the Alpha Fly Killer. A bit ironic, right? For the SE Elite version 3, which, yeah, it didn't have the bite, but it was more nimble and it was really fun. And the decoupled groove in shoes like the Nova Blast 1, they really work for me. So when New Balance did that with the SE Trainer, the SE Trainer version 1 and the SE Elite, it really worked for me. Like it just works the way I land. Felt great. Got carried away. Anyway, the Fastar 3 is that shoe that is nimble. I mean, it's aggressive. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it for people who are looking for their first marathon shoe. It's a bit much on there. So I'm 1 run away from getting the Mag Max to 100 miles. I thought about that. I cut my long run short and I switched shoes. It's a lot. It definitely falls like into the chunky. I mean, it's called Mag Max. I mean, that's like the purpose of the shoe. Now, I called the chunky big shoes, which I think started with the Zoom, not the Zoom Fly, the Invincible, the Nike Invincible one. And then the GOAT for that was the SC Trainer version one. But I always had questions anytime that these Max Stack shoes would come out. It's like, is this a comfortable shoe or is it a bouncy fun shoe? Because I had a hard time doing recovery in the Invincible because it was so bouncy. It's unstable. It kind of was like all over the place with it, but I liked it. And it was really good. It still protected the legs, but I always wanted to run steezy rather than easy because I felt like it just encouraged me. It was giving me words of affirmation. It was telling me I was so fast. You're so fast, King. Just keep going, right? It's okay if we slip into zone 3. Okay, we won't tell anybody. And that's what I would do. SC Trainer version 1 was the king of this. Loved it. 2 shoes I ran in last year that are also like this. And I called those shoes Mad Max because they weren't like max cushion soft. They were bouncy. They're a little crazy, right? Like, why do they exist? We don't know. We just run in them. Mad Max. Last year, I tried the Skyward X. I got over 200 miles in that. And then that's a bouncy shoe. And there's the Mag Max, also bouncy. It's not as soft like the Glycerin Max because they all have the Max title. You just throw Max on a shoe. That was like a thing. Everyone's doing Max. Brooks is on it. Everyone's on it. Right? This is Midlifer Max. This is what I should have named the live stream. It adds to it. So my premature 100-mile review, I don't know what I'm going to learn in the last 8 miles from this shoe, but I will tell you this. It's a bit much. Same with the Skyward X. It's too much in there. I don't think there needs to be that much to achieve the purpose of what the shoe is trying to do, but it's kind of like leaning into it. It's like, it's Mag Max, baby, where, let's just throw in all the extra materials. Let's just be like super thick and supportive. And so I think it just feels bulbous or something. It feels too much underfoot for a long time. If so, like, I would say this is a long run shoe, but then after a while, I'm just like, okay, I'm tired of running in it. But I'm a wee man. I'm not a big dude. I'm not a big guy. I'm a short king, as they say. So I don't. Maybe the shoe's not intended for me. Kind of a pain in the ass though, is this happened like on my first run. The laces got frayed. The little thing at the top of the laces, the cap, literally no cap, fell off. So then I had to grab some tweezers and like work it through the eyelet chain. So I could just replace it with laces. I know that's a thing. I've never even bothered to do that. I don't know. I'd have to like grab a different shoe that I don't run in anymore and relace it. I just put up with it. I do enjoy the bounce of Puma. Puma has been my favorite company for a while. Last year, the Deviate Nitro Elite version 3, the Fast Start 2, I really liked. I liked the Mag Max a lot. I didn't run in the Deviate Nitro 3. I ran in the Deviate Nitro 2, and I really enjoyed that. I think Puma's killing it. I just love Puma. So if they make another Mag Max, which I imagine they would, because why not? I hope that they reduce a little bit, but still keep the bounce, keep the fun. Oscar says, do the accents. Let it rip. Yeah, I do. Sometimes, what is it? Like impersonations of stuff. And then I realize I'm surrounded by people that they never saw that. They'll be like, here's the earth, round. And I'm like, oh, You'll never here's the end of the world. Fire the missiles. Or an old Greg reference, and people are like, what? That probably sounds very strange. If with out of no context. Kuvang's in here. He says, well, hello there. What's up? What's up, Kuvang? All right. The captain says, I'm a big fan of the 2/3 simulators, especially for the marathon, 26.2 kilometers, but fueling and gearing with all of my race day kit. Yeah, feels good. Just got to know. You got to convince the brain. You got to con the brain. Get it? See what I did there with con? Let's say you know, it's different. I know it's different, but you got to trick your brain into thinking like all things are possible. Oh, Doug, I just remembered a dumb joke. All right. Matt says, I'll have to incorporate the 2/3 workout. Sounds like a great fitness test. Yeah. The only thing that I'm apprehensive about it is like, am I training my body to bail when it gets hard? But it's race day. I mean, on race day, I'm not going to be like, oh, 2/3. Okay, cool. Like race day, you just suffer. You just keep going. Everybody just keeps going. Matt says, I'm considering getting the Vaporfly 4 for my half in October so I can use the Vaporfly 3 in training with the Magic Speed 3s getting their in their mileage. Let's see. Maybe I connect the two of you. I think. I'm not sure if Chaz is trying to sell his Vaporfly floors. All right. And the Captain Chaz says, funny you should ask about the Paris versus the Tokyo because maybe there will be a video on the subject. Yeah. James Benjamins says the color looks a lot better than on the website. Saw for a little over 100 pounds. I'm assuming for that price, you mean the Puma Max. It's neon green, yellow. When I first got into running, I thought, oh yeah, I want to get some of those. So the Cloud Cumulus, I don't know, 18. I don't know what number they were on, 22. Who knows? I bought it highlighter yellow, and I was like, yeah, this is cool. I don't think so anymore. It may save my life. A little fray action, literally. But because it's bright, people could see me in the morning, and maybe I won't get Nick Baird. I won't get hit. But I think they were on sale, and that's the only reason that I got them. So like the Rival Fly 4 I got for $65, and every day I talk myself out of the SL2 for 52, but it's an ugly colorway. It's got the little flames on there. So aglet, Frank says aglet. I'm not sure what that is. Is that the thing, that little cap that fell off? It probably has a name. And if there was anyone who'd know what the name of that is, I would think it's Frank. Smart man. Captain says, Greg. I did not drink Bailey out of any of these shoes. Andrew Cho says, do you feel like the Glycerin Max and the Primex 2 are too much? I don't feel like they're too much. I feel the weight of the Glycerin Max, but there is enough softness. Like the Glycerin Max definitely feels like a Max shoe, but it doesn't feel like overkill. Like the Neo Vista version 2 is laughable. I mean, when they're coming out with a Vomero Max, someone's at 55 millimeters a stack. I think the Neo Vista 2 is like that too. I mean, these are just they're yachts. When I used to work at a bookstore, people would come up, hey bro, where's your yacht magazines, bro? Like 20 years old. Where's your yacht magazines? I was like, oh, okay, man, they're over here. You getting a yacht? Okay, well, you're gonna want this, right? Yeah. Hey bro, where's the yacht magazines? Um, yeah, I never read a yacht magazine, but and I've never been on a yacht, but I feel like I've ran in some yachts, and that Neo Vista version 2 would definitely qualify. And the Mag Max isn't as bad, but it's a lot. The problem with the Primex Strung is that I never felt it was incredibly stable. I never feel like Adidas shoes are very stable. The Adios Pro 2 was not stable. The 3 kind of like had those little elfier cutouts with the thing. And then, I mean, it was wider, so it was more stable than the 2, but it still was like there. The 4 is very precise. They have to land very precise with that shoe on the platform, which I'm okay with. But I just Adidas, like the Primex, it just feels it's not even the stack, it's the narrowness of it, and then it's out. But now that I land more midfoot, I feel like there is the most room and is the best for the strong, so I don't feel like it's too much. Frank's in here to clarify. Yeah, the Vomero Premium is 55 millimeters a stack. This is a lot. It's a lot, guys. Stiok. Stiok. This thing. It's like 4 C's. And I don't know that I need that much shoe. And what I've been craving lately, what I've been yearning for is a lot of the more minimal type shoes. I want to run in the Rival Fly 4, the Adios 9. It's sort of the 2025 minimal shoe. I heard Sagasu describe the Rebel somewhere between a racing flat and a regular daily trainer. And those are shoes that I've oftentimes gravitated towards. I think he nailed it there. So you could still feel the ground. And you can in a lot of Nike shoes because, and I've heard Code talk about it, like the Vomero 16, it's most of the padding and most of the comfort is all in the heel collar, the puffy tongue, the foam is in the heel, and then there's like a 10 millimeter drop. So you're getting more ground feel, and then you've got all that rubber, like the waffle pattern. But I don't mind that. So I know that like the Pegasus and the Vomero can feel harsh compared to other shoes that put so much padding underneath. Like I feel the bounce of the Mag Max even at the midfoot to forefoot landing. Even the Glycerin Max has a very nice return, and you feel the foam. The Neo Zen, you feel the foam up front. It's not crazy. It's not crazy firm or anything like that. So, but I've been wanting to run in more of the ground feel, more minimal type of shoes. So that's another reason why it's my own personal bias. It's where I'm at right now. Why I'm not reaching for the Mag Max a lot because it's a fun shoe. It's a really good shoe. I'm just not. I'm not reaching for it. So, one shoe that there's something to be said. Every shoe has a place. So if I want a shoe that I know it's like, okay, Andrew, I know how it is. Oh, I got recovery miles today. Okay, so I'm gonna walk you through this. This is what it looks like. I got recovery miles. Okay. Shuffling the first mile. Okay, this is where I'm supposed to be. Oh man. Okay. Just warming up. 9.5 minutes a mile. After a quarter mile, it's 9. Halfway through the mile, it's 8:30. By the time the mile ends, it's 8:15. Then I get into the second mile. Then I start going to eights. Strides opening up a bit. Still cruising. And then just like get faster after the next 2 miles are kind of like where my easy day pace would be. And then I always just start to push it. Just like the high end of my MAF or my low aerobic zones. So I'm like, 140s or whatever. And I end up at 7:30. I'm like, dang it. Today was supposed to be a recovery run. And I just, keep pushing it over. So I want a shoe sometimes that will not encourage me to do that. Like the 1080 V13, that one works against me. That one was a fight. It's a little too much. But I do think the Neo Vista V2 reminds me of a Max Stack 1080 version 13. And that one is kind of like hard to go fast in. The Neo Zen is also kind of hard to go fast in because it's so soft. So I ended up going with the On Cloud Eclipse, just the shoe. It's a Jazz, right? Which is perfect for me because I'm a jagoti, just a guy on the internet. Okay, so I don't need all that. I just jagoti till I die, and I still found myself picking up. That's a Peppy. It's a sleeper shoe, guys. I think I'm getting close to 100 miles. I'm gonna make a video on it. No one's gonna watch it because it's on Cloud Eclipse, but I'm still gonna do it because it deserves it. So, Kuving says, I've seen my evolution in running shoe colorways from loud to whites and off whites. Got too many kids for that, Kuving. So I got one of the shoes I got was the Mach 6 for like $40. It was one of those that was on the Subwell app, and it was like they're giving it away practically. And I was like, you know what? I want to run in it. It hurts my knees. It hurts my knees. It's the first shoe I've run in since the Levitate. That if I'm in it too long, I get aches. Actually, that's a lie. The New Balance SC Trainer version 2 also was a softer formulation of the fuel cell foam. And if I didn't put it on and run straight away and I walked around in it, my knees hurt. It was too unstable. Mach X6 is that way too, which is weird because Hoka's usually pretty good on the precision front. They're usually pretty good with their stuff. But they're all white. This is why my brain, went there, cool. They're dirty. They got dirty. That's it. Kids, dogs, forget about it. I can't even resell it for $40. Now I got shoes I don't want. You pay the shipping, I'll send it to you. If you're a US men's size 9 and you're watching this and you want a free pair of Mach X6s, slide into the DMs, I'll send them to you. You just got to pay the shipping. Yeah, you have to clean them a little bit. I probably put like one run in them. So Chucky says, how about the 880 version 15? I feel like that one keeps me in check. I'm going to tell you something, and then we got to talk about the last, what I say, running in the heat. I got some pro tips for racing in the summer anyway. But the 880 is a shoe that I have never worn, and it to me falls into the category of workhorse. People would always talk about the 880 as a workhorse. And if I'm going to spend $100 and something, I always wanted to avoid just a shoe. Even though I'm a jagoti and I need a good Jazz, I like the 880 is a shoe that I'm like, well, and even when they talk about it getting a little bit more exciting, they'll be like, well, the Ghost 17 is a little exciting now. I still avoid it. I still haven't done it. Like, that's just going to have to be one that I don't know if I'll ever run in. Like, I don't run in the Saucony Ride. And then I also don't run in the cruiser type of shoes. The Nimbus, the Triumph. I mean, I say that, but I tried the V13. And again, this just confirms, like, I'm not the guy for that. I think those are like, anyone who goes that deep into shoes is like an official shoe tuber. And I'll just be over here as a jagoti in super shoes or whatever else. But okay, my clock is telling me it's been 53 minutes. So we got to hit the third topic, which is running in the heat. I live in San Antonio. For context, South Texas, Houston, San Antonio, Austin, it's all the same. 75 in the morning, 88% humidity, 93% humidity, feels like 80. Then in the afternoon, it gets into the 80s, 90s, whatever, right? It goes up. Not as oppressive as Florida, or a coastal city like Galveston or Corpus. So where the dew point is above 78 or whatever. And it's just like you run considerably slower. If I lived in Corpus Christi, if I lived in Port Aransas, I would not be a runner. I can tell you right now, it is miserable. And then you go out there and mosquitoes this big are just landing on you everywhere. If you try to run before the sun comes up, you got nowhere to hide. Just right by the beach. Do not recommend it. Anyway, if you're going to race, people do races. Okay. I pick the pace of the tier above. Have found in my experience this to be exactly the pace I should run at for what my race is. So if I'm going to run a 10K in the heat, I would go out at threshold effort. The Captain Chas just ran a 10K. I believe he was at a 6 minute a mile pace roughly. That's probably regularly as a 2:45-ish marathoner, his threshold pace. That's perfect. So you go out at threshold. The first 2 miles feel like a 2-mile tempo. The next 2 miles feel like a lot of work, like 10K. But the sun and the heat and the humidity and the dew point has roasted you to the point where the last 2 feels like a 5K. Last summer, I ran a 39:01. Got on McMillan. They have the weather calculator adjuster. I don't know how accurate that is. It's just like a hope machine. I don't know. Lies. It's all lies. Just so you can sign up with McMillan. What a monster. In his calculator said that in ideal conditions, that 39:01 would have been a 36:08. And I had a hard time believing that because I was spent at the end of that 10K because it feels like 84 and it was absolutely miserable. But you could try this. You say like, okay, well, I got a 5K. Well, go to the V dot, maybe try a 10K pace. See if you can hold that for 3 miles. Thing is 5Ks over quicker, so you have less fall damage. There's less damage. But the longer the race, the more exponentially hard it gets. So like if I had a half marathon, I would probably, I don't know. My man Sam just ran a half in the summer and it was hilly and it was 84 degrees. Does not sound like straight up does not sound like a good time. I would run that at marathon pace. I probably wouldn't run it at all because it sounds miserable. And I'm not running a fall marathon. And for the foreseeable future, I'm going to try to avoid that. I mean, if I get into like Berlin one year, I'll have no choice. But I probably also won't make that like the A race because it's too much to train in the Texas summer. And I have a treadmill, but it's in the garage. I'm sorry. In the garage. Did I tell the story? I knew a guy named Nigel. And you can guess he was from GB. And the most proper accent. And people were like, oh, this is in Los Angeles. Where are you from? And he'd be like, Texas. And they would be like, oh, he's funny. But I like the ones, I like Jamie from Ted Lasso. Haw, haw. Speaking of which, JBS is in here from across the pond. He says, hi, all. What's up, JBS? Glad you could make it. JBS is from the future. My wife was in Japan and she was freaking out. She's watching the news. And I tell her, you can't do anything about this. It's just not good for your emotional sobriety. And she's just freaking out. And I was like, just don't worry. I said, guys, political comment here. Just don't. I love everybody, okay? But it's Trump's chicken shit. He's not going to bomb anybody or whatever. He's all talk. And she goes, baby, he just bombed Iran. And I said, well, how was I supposed to know that? Like, for me, it hasn't happened here yet. Like, for you already know that because she was in the future. She's Japan. I don't know if you know this. It's tomorrow in Japan right now. So, but anyway, guys, thanks for humoring me. I have no laugh track here, so I can't force anybody to laugh at my dumb dad jokes. And so it's always crickets for me. And I just want to let you know that I barrel run. I don't know if you ever laugh if you're out on your run and you just like chuckle or get a or a smile, but I'm just pretending that you do. And then that is not all crickets. Or else why would you come back just for the shoes? Sai Hong's in here. He says the magnified Nitro 3 might be lower stack mag max us lighter guys are looking for. Change to full PIBA, I believe. I've never tried the Magnify, but I think I just might have to. That would make a lot of sense. They got a Mag Max and then a Magnify Nitro 3. Puma can do no wrong. Puma says to do, buy. If somebody was like, yo, the velocity, man, the update, sign me up. I guess I'm getting the velocity. I've never tried the velocity either. People are always like, yeah, like the peg of Puma, I'm like, oh, okay. Jazz. Well, I don't know. I've already got a jazz. Don't need a whole bunch of jazz. Though I'm a jagoti. Frank is weighing in here. He says, look, heat training works though. So fall marathons go better than spring marathons, even if your training paces aren't as strong. That is true. The heat adaptations are no lie. I do feel like you got to time it right with the marathon because I think the heat adaptations go, I mean, you don't have to. I know if like it cools down a month before your race, you could still go out jogging in a sweater and like layers to kind of keep the heat thing going for a while. So you don't lose the adaptations. For Chicago in 2022, it backfired on me. Guys, I'll end with this one. So I don't know if you've heard the story or not, probably, but it was like 100 degrees. It was like the second worst summer of all time, only followed by the 2023. And it was like 57 plus days of 100 plus degree weather and the high humidity. And it doesn't start to cool down. At best, it starts to cool down mid-September. You get that first cold front, and then everyone, I kid you not, it's 60 degrees in the morning, and people come in. You guys got that pumpkin spice? Oh, it was so cold. I realized in the middle of the night I had left my window open. I had the chills. I had to close it, and it's like 58 degrees, guys. It's 58. Okay, but people are they just want it. Okay, just like people walking around in Buffalo in April in shorts in the snow, and they're just like, it's warming up. Spring is here, and it's not here yet. Okay, so the first cold front comes in September, and everybody's like, it's pumpkin season. It's cold. It's like it's not. It's false fall. It's not true. So like October 2nd, the cold front comes in, like the day before my travel. I travel to Chicago, and I go there, and it's so cold. The first time it's cold, it's like the same thing. Oh, I got to put layers. I put on my jacket. I put on all my layers. I got gloves. I got his beanie. I'm ready. But then like after a few weeks, it's like, oh, it's 45. I'm not going to go shirtless, but I like a t-shirt should be fine. I mean, you just get kind of used to it. Maybe the hands get cold, so you have gloves, but everything else is fine. Well, I wasn't ready. So I showed up to Chicago in layers. And when I was in the corral, I had my jacket on. This was my second marathon ever. And I didn't even think about it. And I ran underneath the start line with my jacket on. So it didn't pick up my bib. I had no idea I started. So at a certain point, somewhere in the first 5K, it was hot. I was like, I'm warmed up. So I take my jacket off like I normally do after a couple miles. Then the 5K marker picked me up. Because the 5K marker didn't know when I started, they gave me the gun time. It's the only fair thing to do. So I was like, okay. So my 3:11:01 was really a 3:19 something, which still would have qualified me to run Chicago again. But let this be a lesson. Don't be a dumbass. Don't wear a jacket over your bib. Just be cold. Just shiver. There was a guy from Germany next to me. He was just like shivering in his singlet. It was like 40 degrees, and it was nice. And I was like, okay, it's going to feel better later. So I took that approach in the Austin International Half. It was 27 feels like 11. And I was like, I want to be cold. Now, Troy was over there. He was to my left, and he went shirtless. That's nuts. I almost cussed. That's nuts. We cuss here sometimes. Last time I cussed a lot, but that's nuts. Okay. I had gloves and I had little warmers in the gloves, tossed the warmers. And then when I finished the race, my hands were, I think I lost the gloves at a certain point, but my hands were freezing. That's really what it's just the hands. Anyway, it's 105. I appreciate you guys popping in. I hope you listen to this later and not live and you get some sort of value in it and you laugh and you cry, or maybe you just get some good sleep, a little ASMR if you needed some sleep because it's boring or there's so much Riz in my voice that it's soothing. Guys, I'm going to stop. Okay. Stevie76 is weighing in. He cried. Mission accomplished. Stevie, I'm glad you could make it. My day, you just made my day. My day is complete. So we'll be back next week with another live stream on Wednesday.